In this session, we are now going to understand how do we analyze the data with Tableau, and we will be talking about different type of charts and different kind of interactions that we can add in the visualizations that we all create. So let's get started with that. So data that we all are going to use over here is a data of a superstore. So what happens is, like, for example, you all would have ordered something on the e-commerce platforms, right? So like Amazon, Flipkart, XYZ. So now when you order something, so what happens is there is some data that gets generated for every order that is purchased. So you have a similar kind of a data over here. When you purchase any order, there is an order ID that is generated. On what date that order was purchased, what was the shipping date, when was that order shipped, what was the shipping mode, what was the customer ID and the name of the customer, from which segment that customer belonged who purchased that order, you have that as a segment. From which country, city and state that order was purchased, what was the postal code, region, and you have the information regarding the product that was purchased, and every product belongs to a category and a subcategory. That information is given to us. And what was the sales value, how much quantity that was purchased, what was the discount, and how much profit that the store made by selling that item. You will also notice in this data, the order IDs are repetitive. When I say order IDs are repetitive, that means it can happen that maybe in one order, the customer would have purchased multiple items. So like if you see right now over here, the order ID is coming almost like 8 times, or I would say 7 times. So that means the customer purchased 7 different items in this order. Over here, the order ID is coming 2 times. That means the customer purchased 2 different products in this transaction that had happened. In this Excel file, you have other sheets as well, like returns and people. In the returns, you have the information regarding the order IDs that were returned by the customer. People, you have the name of the manager who is managing each region of this store. Although in this activity, we will be using right now only the data of orders, and we will be doing a complete analysis on this data itself. So here I come to the Tableau tool. So since the data has to be loaded from an Excel file, so I will click on Microsoft Excel. I'll go to that path where that file is saved. I'm going to pick my file sample superstore and click on open. So Tableau is now making a connection with that file, and there we go, the connection has been created. On the left hand side, you will see there are 3 sheets that we had in that Excel. They can be seen. So data is not visible right away because there are 3 sheets in the Excel, and Tableau doesn't know that which sheet we would like to use for creating our charts and graphics over here. So we would like to use the data from orders, and I'm going to drag it over here. So we can see now the data is being loaded from that orders sheet, and we will be able to see the data over here in the data view. So in the data view, again, what Tableau has done is Tableau has assigned a data type to each column. In this data set, you will actually see there is a new kind of a data type, which is the geographical data type. So you have the country, city, state. See, now this is the geographical data. So what do I mean by geographical data? Is the data on which we can create some interesting maps. So this geographical data actually helps us to create those maps over here in the Tableau. So Tableau was able to identify by reading the name of the columns. So what Tableau does is column also reads the header names when you load the data inside it. Say for example, if you see there is a column of row ID. Now row ID has the data of numbers. You will see 1, 2, 3. So data type has been picked up as numeric. But will I be doing any kind of aggregation on the row IDs? No, we never say what is the sum of ID or average of ID. If you have some roll numbers or if you have employee IDs which are in numbers, we never do the aggregations on that. So that's why you will notice when I will go on the sheet 1, over here the row ID would be coming under dimensions and not under measures. So that is where we understand that how Tableau also reads the column names. So here we can see the complete data over here right now, where we have the data of orders. So the first chart that we would like to create over here is, I would like to see how the sales happened across the different subcategories. So I pick up the subcategory, put it in the columns. I'm going to pick up the field of sales, drop it in the rows. So I can see how the sales happened across the different subcategories now. Let's make the chart as an entire view, and I'm going to sort it in the descending order. So this is sales by subcategory. Now, every subcategory belongs to a category, right? Like when you go on Amazon platform, you want to buy some product. So you suppose you have to buy a mobile phone, you will select the category as electronics. In electronics, there will be multiple subcategories like mobiles, washing machines, televisions, etc. So if you have to buy a mobile phone, you will click on mobiles and all the mobile phones will come on your screen. So likewise, we have the similar data over here where we have the category, subcategory and the product name. I would like to showcase which subcategory belongs to which category. So let's pick the field of category. Now, if I want, I can keep the category in the columns itself. So when I put it in the columns, I'll put it before subcategory. So you will notice proper segments have been created. So I can see these are the subcategories of furniture. These are the subcategories of office supplies. These are the subcategories of technology. If I want, I can drag the category on the color as well. So I will see that 3 different colors have been given to each category over here. So furniture is in blue, office supplies in orange, and technology is in red. So I can see 3 different colors for the 3 different subcategories. So this is where my first chart where I am trying to understand sales by subcategory has been created. Second chart that I would like to create over here is, I would like to show how the sales happened over a period of time. So for example, I want to understand how the sales happened for the different years, quarter, months. So that is where the analysis is what we are going to do over here. Whenever you have to do a time series analysis, what we always do is we use a line chart. So let's pick up the field of order date, which is the date field that we have in the data. I will drag the order date over here in this. And then let's pick up the sales and drop it in the rows. By default, if you notice, this time Tableau automatically has created a line chart for us because Tableau understands that whenever you make something on the basis of date field, you always use a line chart over there. Let's keep this chart in an entire view mode. So I can see this is how the sales happened in 2014, 15, 16 and 17. So we have 4 years of data with us in that Excel file and we can see how the sales have happened across those 4 years. So although the data that we had was at a day level, what Tableau has done right now for us is it's showing us that data aggregated at the year level for us. If suppose you would like to split or break this data at a quarter level, month level or day level, you can very easily do that. Just right click on this year field. So here you will see year, quarter, month, day, year, quarter, month, day. Now these are coming 2 times. What's the benefit of that or what's the use of that? So we will understand both of them. First of all, I am going to select the quarter from the below box. If I select the quarter from here, you will see the chart changes to quarter level. So I can see how much sales happened in 2014 in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 and quarter 4. Likewise, I can see how the sales happened in 2015 across the 4 quarters. So what I understand is every quarter, every year, the sales have increased. If I want to change the chart to the month level, I will select the month from here. Now we can see the chart has changed to a month level where I can see how the sales happened across the different months. What Tableau also does is on the bottom left corner, you will see here it's written 48 marks. So Tableau tells you that how many points you have on this chart over here. So likewise, you can change the chart to a week level, day level as well. But what happens if you select the year, quarter and month from the above box? Let's select the quarter from here. The moment you select quarter from here, you will see you get only 4 points. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So what we have done is We have selected the quarter from the above box. Now this time you can see the quarters, but the chart is a little different. So what has happened right now? So what Tableau is doing, Tableau is aggregating the data for each quarter for all the years. This is Q1 of all the years, Q2 of all the years, Q3 of all the years, and likewise. If I right click on this, if I change it to month level from the above box, you will see 12 points will come to me. January of all the years, February of all the years, and likewise November and December. So the data is now at the level of month where January of all the years and likewise the data has been represented. So is this chart useful? Yes. This chart actually helps you to identify the seasonality in the data, or I would say seasonality in the business. See, every business has some seasonality. Seasonality means there are certain months when the sales are more, certain months when the sales are less. For example, the sales of cold drink is high in summers and low in winters. Now this is going to happen every year. So similarly, we can see that throughout all the years, the sales have been seen are more during the month of March. They are more during the month of September. They increase during November and December. They are flat during these 3-4 months. The benefit of this chart is that, now the store manager, he can understand that, okay, in which months the sale will be more. So he can keep the stocks and inventories according to that. If the sales are going to be high, so he will keep more inventory. If the sales are going to be low, he will keep less inventory so that he can avoid wastage or damaging of the products over there. So that's where this chart is useful. If you select the year, quarter, month from the above box, and if you want yearly aggregation, then please choose your quarter and month from the below box. So let's keep the chart at a month level by choosing month from the below box. So this is where your time series analysis has been done. Now, if suppose I want to see that how the sales have happened over the months for the different categories. So how can I do that? If I pick the field of category and put it in the columns, you will see the line charts get split into 3 parts: furniture, office supplies, technology. So I got 3 line charts for each category, which is coming column wise. If I bring the category in the rows, the chart now gets split row wise. So when you are working with Tableau, you have to little bit experiment how the information looks the best by dragging and dropping the fields here and there. If I drag the field on the color, so let's drag the category on the color. This time you will notice I got 3 lines, 1 line for each category. So blue is furniture, red is technology, orange is office supplies. So I can see the 3 different lines over here. Definitely it is easier to compare. Now I can easily compare in which month which category gave me more sales or less sales. Like over here I can see technology gave me the highest sales in the month of March, and mostly technology is on the higher side every month when the sales are generated. Probably the reasons could be because technology items are expensive, like phones, machines, copiers. So these are some expensive items. When you talk about some office supplies items, these are like papers, pen, right, desk, etc. These are relatively cheap. So that's why the sales goes on the lower side. So this is called as diagnosis, right? So making chart is one part. We also have to do a diagnosis so we can understand what is happening and why is it happening. So diagnosis is more about why. Right? What is happening, that we can see that the sales are more for technology, but why is it more for technology? Those are also the answers that we try to find from this data. Suppose this chart that I have created right now on the category looks good. My mood changes and I would like to now see this analysis by subcategory. I'll remove the category from here and I will pick subcategory and put that on the color. What we see? So there are almost like 16 or 17 different subcategories, and I get those many lines over here on this chart. So right now I am seeing almost like 17 lines or 18 lines on this chart, and for anyone to everyone, this chart is very tough or hard to identify what is happening in each subcategory right now. So how do we handle this? This is where Tableau provides us the concept of filters. We will see there is a filters pane over here. So what I can do is I can drag and drop the fields in the filters and I can see the data based on the selection that I have done. So like for example, I'm going to pick the field of subcategory and I will drag it in the filters. The moment I do that, you all will notice I get a dialog box over here on my screen. Now these filters can be applied on various ways. You can apply a normal filter where you can select or deselect the items. You can filter the data using the wildcards. You can write a condition, or you can filter the top items. You want to see the top selling categories, subcategories, or products. So there are multiple ways by which the data can be filtered, which we will all see all these options one by one. Right now, you can see all the subcategories are selected. I say none, and I just want to see the data of accessories, binders, and copiers. If I click on apply and OK, you will notice now the chart is showing me the data of only those subcategories that I have selected over here. If I want to change the subcategories, I will say edit the filter and I can change my subcategories from here. But I can't right clicking, I can't keep editing the filter again and again. So what I do is I right click on this category, the subcategory filter, and I will say show filter. When you say show filter, the filter will come on your screen right away. Now this is something how the things will look like to the user as well. See, in Tableau over here, there is one option that is called as presentation mode. Presentation mode means how the chart is going to look like when it is being viewed by the end user. So this is how the chart will look like to the end user when he opens this on his servers or in the Tableau reader. If he wants to see the data of furnishings, he will select it. If you don't want to see the data of copiers, bookcases, accessories, so whatever categories or subcategories you select in this filter, only that data is what will be shown to you by the Tableau over here. This filter that we have all applied, we can also change the look and feel of this filter. If you click on this little arrow of this filter, I can say that I would like to show this in the form of a single value list. So there are two ways by which you can show your filters. One is single value, another is multiple values. Single value means you can select only one value at a time in that filter. Multiple values means you can select multiple values at a time in that filter. If I say single value list, see, now I can select only one value at one time. If I say I want to sit in the form of a single value drop down, so from the drop down, I will be able to select only one value at one time. From here, if I say I want to show it in the form of a slider, so I can slide on this and I can select again one value at a time. So these are different ways how I can give a different experience to the end user on how they would like to filter out their data. I can make it as multiple values list, which we were seeing by default as well. We can make it multiple values drop down. We can make it in the multiple values custom list. Custom list is you have to type your values over here. For example, you want to see the data of phones, you will type phones and you select it, the value comes up. Little bit tricky, a user must know what he really wants to see. You want to see something another, you just have to type the name, or you want to clear the list, you can do that as well. Another is over here, which is called as wildcard match. Wildcard match means you don't know the complete name. I am saying I want to see those subcategories which have P in them. If I write P, so there are appliances, copiers, envelopes, paper, phones, supplies. All those subcategories come to my screen which have the word P in them. So that's where you can use a wildcard. If I say something like O, so all the subcategories which have O in them, they are here on my screen, which we can see the data for. I want to say something which has O and P, so the data will come for all those subcategories which have O and P together, right? We have copiers, we have envelopes. So this is how you can change the look and feel of these filters that you're going to apply for this chart. For now, let's keep it as multiple values drop down. So we can select multiple values by opening the drop down and closing it. When this filter is added, if I want, I can add more than one filter as well in this. So let's pick the field of category and let's put it in the filters over here as well. So there are 3 categories. I will say I want to use all of them. Apply and OK. So I have the category filter as well on this chart. I will say right click, show filter. So now I have the filter of category as well and the subcategory. If I say I want to show the data of furniture, see now only the subcategories of furniture will be visible over here, nothing else. If I select office supplies, the data for only the subcategories of office supplies will be visible to me. If you want to go and select a particular subcategory, you have the other filter anyhow available with you, that is of subcategory, from where you can make that selection, right? Like the way you all would have seen the filters when you go on the any of the shopping website, and you can apply various filters of brand, size, color. So that's the same thing that you see over here as well. Now in this, something that will take your attention is that when I am selecting office supplies, in the subcategories you will all notice you see all the subcategories, right? Which can be a little confusing for the end user, that okay, in office supplies which all subcategories are there, because we want to filter out something specific from there itself. So right now what is happening is these two filters are not connected to each other. So what will I do in this case? I am going to click on this subcategory. Here you will see an option of only relevant values. Only relevant values means that it will show only those values which are there in some other filters. See, right now the values is all values. All values means whatever subcategories you have, they are visible in the filter. But if I say only relevant values, now since I have selected office supplies, it will show me only the subcategories of office supplies. If I select furniture, I will have only the subcategories of furniture. So this is how this chart is right now working, where I can easily understand the things for the category and subcategory and how the filters have been linked to each other right now. These filters that we have applied, they are currently working on only one sheet, that is the current one. If I want that this filter should work on the sheet 1 also, so in that case what you do is, if I right click on category, you will see an option of apply to worksheets. By default it says only this worksheet. That means this filter is working only the current view, only on the current worksheet right now. If I say selected worksheets, I can select that I want that this filter should work on sheet 2 as well as sheet 1. Click OK. Now you will notice I have selected furniture. On the sheet 1 also, you will see the data for only furniture, and filters. In the filters pane, you can see the furniture category over there. If you will change the filter, the same thing will get impacted over there as well. You will see the office supplies data over here right now. If you want, you can say show filter from here, and you can change the filters from here also. If you select furniture, the same thing gets applied over there as well. The next thing is, if over here I right click on the category, there was another option of all using this data source. What does this option mean? If I select this option, see, data source is the orders data that we have used, that is sample superstore orders data. In this case, if I will make any chart from the orders data right now, this category filter will be applied on all the charts that I create using the data source as orders. So this is quite a helpful option, because if you have to get multiple charts and you want that filter to work on all the charts, you can go ahead with that option over there. So this is how you basically work with the filters, apply them, and you can apply those filters across the different sheets as well. So in this session, we'll talk things up till here. And in the next session, we'll be talking about some more exciting charts and take the things forward from there. Thank you, everyone.